Hello, welcome to another After Effects tutorial. Actually, this is the first time doing the tutorial for a long time in After Effects. And today, this is what we're gonna recreate in this Twitter loader for Premiere. We're gonna be creating the motion template for Premiere. And you must have the After Effects latest version and Premiere latest version 2017 spring. And let me just, before we start, let me show you something that I create. Let me just stop this, go to my site. And you see this pack called Motion Template is for Premiere Pro 2017. Make sure to read the description. When you click this, actually costs a small price, $5. If you really want to support me, appreciate my work, so you can just go ahead and download. And if you click in here, we'll jump into this, where we have the product information. And also when you click, you will have this screenshots. When you click, you will see on a full screen, you see this loaders are included in the package. And also if we go back this screenshots, just click and see also what this pattern. So also will be in the package. And also we will be making the tutorial and how to import in Premiere and how to customize, it's ready to just drag and drop and then just go ahead and create a nice animations or projects like I did. Let me just pull out this and play. As you see, what you can create with this templates that we added to the package. As I say, if you really want to support me, you can just go ahead and donate. And also let me just go back to my, actually open my, the Finder, and this is what you will have in the package. You see all this. So as I said, we will be making the tutorial and how to import and add in Premiere, of course, and then start customizing and create that nice project. Let me just minimize this and go back to my After Effects so we can start with the tutorial. Let me just delete and start from the scratch so you won't miss anything. Let me just delete and delete maybe. Let me just save it, and then we're gonna start hitting Command N to create a new composition, and we're gonna just rename this lower there. And I have 30 frames per second, and we're gonna go maybe 8 seconds long and then hit OK. And we're gonna go 100% in here maybe, and also maybe we're gonna have half in here because it takes a little time to render when you got full mode. And let me just go and pick the this shape ellipse tool, holding down shift command, and we're gonna just drag a nice circle. And then we need to go and pick the color that I have for Twitter in this case, so you can just look on Google for Facebook if you want to do Facebook loader. So let me just copy the value. If you want, you can just have the same code. And then what we're gonna do is make sure selected, and I'm gonna align to the center. Maybe let me just go align and align to the center. And let me also rename this circle. Hit enter in the keyboard and then just rename circle. And then we need to close this, and then we need to go and pick this rounded rectangle shape, and let me just draw this right there maybe. And also we need to make sure the selection tool is selected, go and align to the center. And also we need to put this down in the bottom, and we're gonna just rename this as well, so we're gonna just say plate. And then what else we need to do is make sure it's selected. We're gonna just move the anchor point to the center, hold it on command, make sure the tool is selected. You can hit the Y on the keyboard, and let me just hold it down command, you can just move to the center, and this circle as well. So let me just move to the center, and you will see Y. Once we have this, we need to duplicate, holding down command D to duplicate, and we got plate 2 and circle 2. Let me just drag on the top of the plate. And what we're gonna do is select the plate first and hit S on the keyboard, and we're gonna unlink, and we're gonna just have a little bigger than the plate that we have on the bottom, a little bigger, and also the scale, but make sure the scale is not bigger than the circle. As you see, is inside the circle, so that's what we're really looking for. So let me just move this, hit P on the keyboard, and let me just move to the left, maybe right there, and make sure the corners are not out of the circle. You see the corners are inside the circle. So let me just select this and select the circle to holding down Command, of course, to select both of them, and right click, and we're gonna pre-compose this. Make sure to move all attributes into the new composition, and we're gonna call this mask. Well, once we have this, also we need to animate this plate. So let me just hit P on the keyboard, and let me just go 1 second long, and also we need to add a keyframe, go at the 0 frames, and we need to pull this to the left. So let me just hold down Shift, we're gonna pull and make sure it's inside the mask. Once we have this, we need to select the keyframes, right click, go keyframes assistant, or you can just hit the F9, and then we need to go to the graphic editor, and let me just move this. We need to smooth the animation. Let me hit N on the keyboard and make sure and see how it looks like. Okay, good. Then we need to just go and duplicate the mask and put this down on the bottom, maybe uncheck in here. And then let me just move and up here and make sure the plate selected. And we need to hit down here, the toggle switch mode, just to have the mask mode. And let me just make sure selected and go and say alpha inverted matte. And this is what we really have. But we don't see the effect that we saw in the preview. The plate wasn't close to the circle. So the way to have that effect is just hit P on the mask and just move a little bit to the right, and you will see. Actually, we need to delete the stroke as well. So let me just go inside the plate. If you want, you can leave the stroke, but in my case, I don't want the stroke. So let me just go inside and delete the stroke, just leave the fill. Okay. Once we have this, let me close actually all of those. And then what else we need to do is play with the circle. So let me just duplicate 2 more times. So 1, 2, and we got 3 times, 3 circles. And we're gonna go as this first. We need to delete the stroke as well. So let me just delete, and also this one, the circle 2, we need to delete the stroke as well. So let me just delete. And this one at the top, we need to delete the fill, not the stroke. So let me just go and delete the fill. Of course, we don't see anything. Let me just, select all of them. Actually, you know what? Let me just select those 2 circles on the top and hit S. And we're going to scale up a little bit just to help close to the plate. And you see, and then what we're going to do is, select those 3 circles, hold it down Shift, and then hit S first. Hit S on the keyboard, then hold it on Shift. We're gonna hit T as a Thomas, and we're gonna just go 1 second. Actually, there's on 1 second, and we're gonna just add a keyframe, and keyframe, and then we need to go to the beginning, and let me just go 0%. This one, and the opacity 0% as well, and you will see this. So let me just select the keyframes, right click, go keyframe assistant, easy ease, and then smooth the animation. So let me just go pull to the left, and this is what we have. Nice. But something else we need to change in here is, let me just select this circle to hit the T on the keyboard, and we need to delete the keyframes, go 1 second long, and we need to say 0% in here, and let me just add a keyframe, go at the beginning, and we need to say 100%. Cool. And let me just maybe, easy ease this, and maybe smooth out as well. So let me just smooth this, and let me just go and play and see what we have. Nice. This is what we're really looking for. Now, we need to play with the stroke. So let me just select the stroke, and we need to make sure the selection tool is selected, and we need to add, the trim pad so we can animate the stroke. So let me just go open this trim pad, and you see the start end. So let me just the end put on 0%, and let me just maybe have 2 keyframes at the beginning, and let me just go maybe 1 second long as well, and let me just go 100%, and this 100%, and also we need to select the keyframes just to smooth the animation, is ease. And let me just go back inside the graphic editor, And let me just see what we really have. Nice, this is what we have. We don't see anything yet, so we need to go maybe 15 frames, half second in this case. Let me just select this 2 keyframes and see, so you will have the effect of the stroke. Nice, but we might need to move all those 4 keyframes, move 15 frames, and you will have this first, and then we will have much better animation. And let me just close this, and what we're gonna do now is select the plate and the mask, holding down shift or command. You can select both of them, right click, and we're gonna call this plate mask, and hit OK. Make sure all attributes in the new composition. And let me just add this effect called fill, so then we can change the color. So let me just it's inside the generate. Let me just double click and maybe have the same color that we have on the circle. And then what we're going to do is duplicate 2 more times, 1, 2. And then what else we need to do is, maybe, arrange the layers, because, so what we're going to do is go 2 frames. We already have 2 frames, and we're going to just pull this top. I mean, we need, actually, this must be 4 frames. So let me just pull 4 frames, and then we need to go 2 frames, and this one, the center will be, this in between the top and the bottom will be and 2 frames, and we will have this. Actually, we don't see anything because we need to change the color. So let me just go to the center, and let me just have a little wider, brighter. And also this bottom, we might need to have it brighter than the center. So let me just go in here, and you will have the effect. You see, this is more like brighter, and then to this dark blue. Not too dark. And then what else we need to do is, let me just move this. Let me just select those 3 layers and just move, make sure the circle start first, and then start the plate. So let me just pull this up, and then maybe play and see what we really have. Nice. The last thing we need to do is add the text. So make sure deselected, pick the selection tool. Let me just go here. And add text. Let me just say follow us on Twitter. You can put whatever you want. And maybe this a little bigger. So let me just go in here. Let me say 27. And let me just maybe 20. Yep. And so let me just put maybe right there. And then what we need to do is animate this. So let me just make sure when the animation of the plates ends, and we can just start animating the text. So let me just hit P, add a keyframe, go 1 second maybe. Yep, and let me just add another keyframe, go back to this first keyframe, and we're gonna pull to the left. So let me just pull, and let me just select the same, select the keyframes, right click, ease, and let me just smooth the animation, going inside the graphic editor. And then what else we need to do is, maybe we need to pull this mask. So let me just duplicate 1 more time. So let me just duplicate and put on the top of the text. Let me just put this visible, and then make sure this text Twitter is selected, and go to my embed matte, and we will have this. So we got a little problem. The text seems like coming from the circle, so we don't want that. Let me just hit the P on the keyboard of the mask in this case, and let me just move to the right a little bit, so you will fix this. And seems like the text seems like coming from the plate. Okay, and this is what we have. The last thing we need to do is add the line that we had on the bottom of the text. So let me just make sure it's unselected, all the layers down here on the timeline. Let me just pick the pencil tool, and let me just click, hold it on shift, and we will have this line. So let me just have a non-fill, and just maybe 3 pixels in here. And then what else we need to do is make sure make sure to have the same time the animation of the text. So let me holding down, just click this and hit U to see the keyframe. So let me just have it in here. So also we need to select the line. Let me just hit enter to rename line, and hit P to have the the and then our keyframe go to the this frame, so we will have the same animation of the text, I mean the duration. And let me just add another keyframe, go back to my keyframe, and let me just move to the left, I mean to the right in this case. And also we need to select those keyframes, easy ease, and then go and smooth the animation. And then what else we need to do is let me see what we have. Nice. And then the last thing we need to go is remember this last mask, so let me just put on the top of the line, and we're gonna do the same. So let me just move, in this case let me just hit P and move to the right a little bit. Make sure it's at the edge of the plate. You see the corner and here, so let me just move right there. You see it's close to the plate that we have. So let me just go and select the line, make sure go and say, in this case we're gonna go alpha matte, and this is what we really have. So let me just play and see what we have. Nice. And the last thing, we need to create the Twitter icon in this case. So let me go, you can look on Google for PNG icon, or you can, I think the best option is to have, the shape on Facebook. You can look on Google for Photoshop shapes. And let me just, I have this shape, you can just go shapes, and I have installed in my computer. So let me just, pick the path tool selection, and select the path, and let me just holding down Command C to copy, or you can go edit or copy. And going back to my After Effects, we need to right click, make sure all the layers are deselected. Let me go right click, new, and shape layer. And also we need to add a path. Make sure the path is selected on the timeline you see, and let me just hold down Command small v to paste, and there we have, you see the path in here. And also we need to add the fill, and it's red, so let me just change to white just to have a contrast from the blue. And let me just pick the selection tool and move to my center right there. And then what else we need to do is maybe you rename this, hit enter on the keyboard. Let me just rename Twitter. And then what else we need to do is maybe hit the T for opacity, hold it on shift, we're gonna hit the S on the keyboard. Let me just go 1 second long, and the same that we have on the circle, so let me just add a keyframe, go back to 0 frames, and we're gonna go 0 opacity and 0 scale. And also we need to just ease, and then go back to my graphic editor, and then just smooth out the animation. And let me just play this and see what we have. Nice. This is what we have right now. And I think this is all for the animation. We finished the animation, so we need to do one more time before jumping into the Essential Graphics motion template, save in this case. Let me just close this. Let me go and select all the layers in this case, right click, and we're gonna pre-compose, make sure move all the attributes into the new composition, and we're gonna call this whole content. And hit OK. And also we need to go at the beginning and make sure the layer is selected, and we're gonna go and right click and go enable time remapping, and you see it adds 2 keyframes at the beginning and at the end. And we're gonna just pull this and see when our animation ends right there, maybe. Okay, and then we need to add another keyframe, and make sure this is selected, and we're gonna hit Command C to copy, or you can go edit and copy. And let me just go maybe let's leave 1 second, I guess, or 2 seconds, just to have enough time to read the text. And we're gonna just copy this keyframe, hold down Command small v to paste, and then we need to delete this keyframe, the last at the end. And we're gonna just select this again, hold down Command C to copy, Control C on PC, and then go, maybe we're gonna leave the same time that we have in between those keyframes. So we got 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So we're gonna go 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, so must be in here. And we're gonna just remember we copied this keyframe, so let me just Command small v to paste and move this maybe, and then just play, and you will see this nice animation. The animation comes in, it stays for 2 seconds, and the animation goes back. And this is what we really have. Now, once we have this, let me save maybe, because I've been having a lot of problem because my After Effects is crashing for some reason. Let me see. Now we need to jump into the essential graphic. Let me go window and make sure the essential graphic is open, and you will have this. First, we need to do is pick the composition that we're gonna put inside the essential graphic. So let me just click in here, and we're gonna call this lower. I added two L's. Anyway, don't worry about it. So let me just, and then we need to pick the, you know, maybe this, we need to set as a post frame. So, you know, when you click in here, we'll take a snapshot in here and add it to this preview window. And then what else we need to do is go inside this preview, and we're gonna just start adding the parameters, you know, inside this essential graphics. Let me just start with the Twitter, maybe the logo. So let me just drop this down, content, and go fill, and we're gonna just drag this color and then opacity, so you will have a reference in Premiere, and then you will change the color and opacity. So let me just type this Twitter, and the next one is maybe the text. So let me just go drop this down. Before we adding anything, let me just add a fill as well in this. So let me just double click, you know, let me just have white in this case. I don't like the red. Cool. And let me just go down here where it says effect. First, we need to drop the source text, you know, just drag and drop. And then we need to go effect and drag the color. And we're gonna just go in opacity as well, so you can just play on Premiere, as I said. So let me just type text. And here, so let me just type text as well. Okay, and then we need to go and play with the plates, maybe in this case. So let me just first this plate, let me go effect, fill, and let me just the same, you know, we need to add a color. So you can, you know, just rename whatever you want on here. So you, as I said, you will have a reference in Premiere. But in my case, it's taking too long, so I'm gonna just leave it like this. I'm not gonna type anything because it takes too long. The people are complaining because the tutorial is too long. So I don't know. Anyway, so let me just go in here, effect, fill, the same, you know, just drag and drop the color and the opacity, and go and close this one as well. So let me just go effect, fill, and color, and then opacity. So as I said, you can just rename it, you know, plate 1, plate 2, or plate 3, and so you will have in Premiere. Anyway, even if you don't rename anything, so you will see just changing the colors. And the last thing we need to do is go and do the same with the circle. So let me just go fill. This is the circle 1, I guess. And let me just in here, just put the circle 1. Let me just copy this maybe. And let me just also the opacity. And let me just, you know, copy the same text. And so let me just go this second and go, you know, fill, and the same we're gonna do is just drag and drop the color and the opacity. And let me just rename this the same. So in this case will be 2, and this one as well the same, you know, and let me just do number 2. And the last thing we need to go this round stroke that we have up here. So let me just drop this down, go, in this case we need to go with doing stroke. So let me just drop this, and let me just make sure drag and drop the color and the opacity in this case, and also we need to drag and drop the stroke width, so we can change in Premiere or more thinner or thicker. So let me just go and say stroke and a stroke. And then the last thing I think we need to do is the line, I guess. We already did the line, I guess. This is Twitter. Okay, we need to go with the line. So let me just make sure, drop this down, content, and go shape, stroke, and we're gonna just drag the color. Maybe just put on top then here. Yep. Let me just say line. And then we need to go the opacity as well, and we need to go the stroke width. So you can just rename this line as well. Okay, once we have this is what we have. So then we can just export the motion graphics to the template. So let me just click in here. Actually, let me close this actually before doing anything else and save first. Oh, as I said, my After Effects is crashing, so let me just make sure saved. Let me just also close this, and let me just as soon we finish adding these parameters into the sensual graphics, so we're gonna just export to the motion graphics template. So let me just hit and see what happens. Okay, good. My After Effects works good this time. So you see when you click export, this window will pop up and it's asking to save on the Essential Graphics library. But in my case, and also I suggest you to save on my local drive, so you will browse and have a different folder, where to save. In my case, I'm gonna just save maybe on documents for now, and then just actually, you know what? Before doing this, I forgot one step. So let me just cancel this. We need to add the name in here. So we forgot this. Make sure you must add a name in here. So let me just say lower third. All right, lower third social media. Okay, and then just click and then export. Let me see. It's asking to save. Let me save it. And you see my After Effects crashed. So for some reason, as I said, you can just, I don't know, for some reason my After Effects is crashing. But you saw the window when it pop-ups, and you can just choose local drive and save on any other folder, and you will be able to pull into Premiere. So as I said, tomorrow we will be creating the video how to import in Premiere and how to customize the color. And let me just reopen and see. I don't think it's gonna allows me to save. So let me try again, export, save. So you see, I don't know, it's not gonna work. So let me just, as I said, so that's all for today. Hope you guys like it. I don't know, for some reason my After Effects is giving me a headache. And you already know how to create the animation. That's the more important thing, and let me just, shut down my After Effects, and then hopefully you guys like it. Please don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Facebook or on Twitter, and see you next time.